A pay party or a rave will be deemed to be illegal if it does not hold a local authority or a local government licence to put it on.
Free party to me means free in the sense you don't really have anybody looking over your shoulder what you get up to. It's not like a controllable thing. As soon as it's got controls, then it becomes, you know, a different kind of party.
Often a case of just a huge amount of people at a location with very loud music.
Oi, keep it down.
Causing sort of mass disruption in that local area.
It's an underground thing, and perhaps it has an element of illegality, but it's not that the people who are running it want to just again, you know, we don't give a shit.
My name is Mr. Lanyon. I live at Williams Farm, Stebbing. On that particular night, I had gone to bed at about 10 o'clock. My son came home from a dinner party at about 12:30, 1 in the morning, and heard this terrible row going on a grain store. The police then came up with 2 officers who said that there was nothing they could do about it because raves inside buildings were perfectly legal, as the laws are at the moment. But I got up out of bed because I heard the row and went up there and tried to force the police to do something about it. They just didn't want to know. The rave went on for over 12 hours. It was gone midday, Sunday morning before they left. And I just couldn't believe that the laws allowed this sort of thing to happen. They said that if the rave had been outdoors rather than indoors, they could have stopped it.
Quite often though, the land, if people are squatting farmland to do a party and stuff, they like to talk to the farmers and say, can we do this, or we're going to do this, or whatever. Some of the people I know anyway. Other people, obviously, they'll just set up and go for it.
They used my electricity, which they didn't offer pay for, but there was no damage done. They left the inside of the building clean, swept up.
People don't want to piss other people off, as a rule, you see, especially not in their position of doing an underground party. It's a bad thing to do. Although some people do it anyway, you know, it's better to make sure everything's clear and sorted and tidy up at the end and go, and that's it, you know.
I wrote to the Home Secretary, I wrote to the Chief of Essex Police, I wrote to the NFU headquarters in London. I pointed out to them that I, along with others in this area, were very dissatisfied that the fact that they could actually break locks to get into the barn. Well, I must admit they put new locks on the next morning after they leave, and I begged him to get the law altered so that these things couldn't happen again.
First and foremost, the legislation hasn't changed. There is not specific legislation to deal with pay parties within buildings. Government, I think, are aware of this and are aware that there's a shortfall in legislation with regard to pay parties inside buildings. And I anticipate over the next year to 2 years there will be a change in legislation.
The wheels are in progress to alter the law.
Through the 1990s, the Criminal Justice and Public Order Act was formulated by government, and when it came into position gave a huge array of powers that the police could use and did use effectively in a coordinated approach right across Britain.
So they could control then all the ravers and put them in nightclubs and know where they all were, knew what they were doing, who came out and who went in.
Stopped big raves, illegal raves, you know, definitely. I mean, that was the end of that, really. Well, I say that, there's just been a couple of fairly big illegal raves, but like, you know, really big ones, like Castle Morton and Lechlade before it, stuff like that. A lot of the Spiral parties the year before that, they were big parties, you know, pretty out of control, and I think that's what the government really wanted to stop.
It is a silly act, yeah. If you read it, it's completely stupid, it's anti-constitutional for most of it, and it's not even enforceable for the police.
It hasn't really done much to the urban parties, but I'm hearing whispers that they're trying to bring another law in which will sort of stamp out that as well.
We have no problem with people having fun, dancing, listening to music. We have a real problem with the public safety aspect, because we really do feel this is a major disaster waiting to happen.
Sorry.
I think it must be mentioned that the organisers make a huge amount of money out of this.
It's not based on money at all. It's not based on finance, it's not based on commercial anything. What it's based on is good vibes and networking. People with skills who are getting to know each other and find that this person can help them with that and that person can help them with this.
It does pull together a lot of people who have potential that maybe, not have realised that in another environment, you know.
It's just people, basically. That's the key thing, really. Getting lots of people together in a situation where they feel happy. There's not many things around that exist anymore that are like that. A lot of it is just down to really finding a building, or a space where you'll be able to pull off a squat party.
Find a place where you can actually get in without breaking in.
Without there being any disturbance residentially, because that's why the police get involved. They put a stop to things if you are.
And once you're in, you need to actually have, I can't remember which form it is, it's a form from one of the council basically, saying that you're actually legally squatting the building.
Then making sure the place is clean and making sure the place has got running water and sorting the place out so that people are going to have a good time.
Apparently, it's all done by mobile phones. The organiser gives those that want to turn up a venue, such as a petrol filling station. They all congregate there together and then they all turn up at the rave at the same time.
There's very little publicity, very little promotion actually goes into it. There's no flyers or anything like that. A lot of it is about the people who know, and then they tell their friends and they tell their friends and so on, because it's all really based on phone numbers and people phoning on Saturday nights.
A lot of these places will not have toilet facilities, so people urinate in people's gardens, in people's houses. There is very little control with regards to age, the drinking of alcohol, the supply of drugs. So they are a troublesome thing.
And yet at the same time, if you know enough about them, you know that they are actually policed to a degree from the inside. There's people always, if there's trouble, if there's incidents going on, there's people there who will go and sort that situation out amicably, or as amicably as possible.
Just the atmosphere and the enthusiasm of the people, and just, you know, it's just that kind of, you know, that feeling. Oh, it's fucking great, you know, this is so brilliant, and that's really nice.
It's such a true underground thing to do as well. You know, these people that they find a building, a random building, it's all done by the phone, it's like it's reminiscent of what was going on in the late 80s, except it's not all round a motorway this time.
There is an attraction to them because they are fun.
People are into it for all different reasons. Some people because they really feel that it, you know, that it's a brilliant thing that they feel a part of.
The want of something free and freedom to dance, and they wanted something different.
There's no constrictions at all. There's no one there to tell you no. very difficult to see the future in this kind of thing, really.
Just hope the subculture, underground subculture, continues.
I think it's essential that it continues, basically, and it will do. I can't see it not continuing unless there's some unbelievable change in the law.
Let's hope the law gets changed to stop these things happening again.
It is important to have a network of free party because otherwise you don't have the choice. I mean, choice is basic freedom, yeah.
Ladies and